All right, so let's get this thing started. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning, good afternoon to all of you, and very warm welcome to Infinity 2022 to all our clients joining us from around the world. We really appreciate you guys taking time off your busy schedules to join us today. I'm super excited to be here for all the fantastic conversations we will have. Well, it's my pleasure and honor to be the moderator for Infinity 2022. My name is Bill Kiani, and I'm the head of sales and business development for UK and Ireland. Well, for those of you who have joined us for the very first time, the Infinity event is a platform for us to communicate our roadmap, share our customer successes and journeys with Xpedeon, and talk about our achievements since the preceding event back in 2020. So I've lined up for you a very fruitful and brilliant line of speakers, starting with Mr. Janak Vakaria, our group CEO. A few of our clients from around the globe will share their experiences working with the team and share their successes. Also, some of my team members will update us about the new and exciting features we have recently introduced in Xpedeon. And to make sure we are helping you as best as we can, we have a chat box to place your questions. Please feel free to drop any questions on any topics that may arise during the conversations, and our team will try to answer them during the session or shortly after. So now, without further ado, I shall hand the floor to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Janak Vakaria, our group CEO and co-founder.
A very warm welcome to our customers, soon-to-be customers, partners, and our staff who are joining us from across the UK, Middle East, and South Asia. We're delighted with the response that we've had this year in terms of participation. On behalf of the Xpedeon team, I thank you for taking the time out from your busy schedules to attend this event. Last year, the Xpedeon teams across geographies were working hard to hold this event in person. Travel restrictions on large gatherings, and the risks associated with holding an in-person event have constrained us from doing so. So once again, here we are in a totally online format with the hope that the next event will be held in person, and I look forward to meeting each of you then. The event was conceived as a way for us to engage with our customers, to share updates on how the Xpedeon event has grown over the years, both functionally and technologically. To share updates on our product roadmap and its evolution, and to share with you how our business is growing. In future, hopefully next year, when we hold this event in person, we will be planning sessions for our customers to actively discuss and share challenges and discuss solutions, suggest improvements and items they would like to see on our roadmap and guide our direction into the future. The ultimate objective of this event is for us to be able to get feedback from you to ensure that Xpedeon continuously evolves to address the needs of our customers, to drive efficiency, transparency, and agility across the business. Since the pandemic began in early 2020, with various restrictions being in place for office working and travel, it was our immediate priority to ensure that there was minimum disruption in support to our customers. Our operations, infrastructure, and internal support teams worked tirelessly amid extensively challenging circumstances to ensure we transition to a working from home across all departments in the shortest possible timeframe. It gives me immense satisfaction and pride to state that this was achieved in under 2 months since the commencement of the pandemic, and we have been able to ensure that nearly the same level of responsiveness and turnaround times for business as usual support is available to our customers. Not only have we been able to maintain pre-lockdown and restriction support turnaround times, we have successfully managed the implementation and deployment for entirely new customers as well as implementing new modules for our existing customers in a completely remote format. During the last 2 years, our development teams delivered a huge number of enhancements, entirely new modules, and continued the research and development initiatives, notwithstanding the constraints that we faced. Our implementation teams have adapted to delivering trainings, consultancy, and project implementations in totally online formats using tools such as Teams, Zoom, Google Meet, etc. They have come up with a completely new implementation format called Remote Expedite to be able to deliver implementations online with a high level of efficiency and saving significant costs for our customers. It has indeed been a revelation for us and a discovery how a major disruptive event can actually lead to process improvement and efficiency. I am in absolutely no doubt that in your own businesses, you have also adapted, and at some level, Xpedeon has had a role to play in that adaptation. All in all, we have navigated the pandemic successfully, and we are well positioned for an extremely productive future. Over the last 18 months or so, teams, while working from home under some very challenging circumstances, have done some great work. A number of our team have joined this event today, and I take this opportunity to thank them for all their efforts. In keeping with our ethos of being extremely responsive to customers' feedback, the teams have delivered a staggering 200 plus enhancements spanning the entire Xpedeon portfolio. Some large, some small, some minor tweaks that we're sure will make a real difference to our users. Over and above these, we have had a number of major introductions aimed at saving time, improving reporting, or to incorporate functionality not previously present in Xpedeon. Let's take a look at what some of these introductions have been. We built analytical and data visualization capabilities across 144 reports and registers in Xpedeon, giving our users unparalleled ability to pivot and view information and save custom layouts. We enhanced our vendor appraisal capability to address a wide range of use cases and build powerful reporting capability around it. Advanced bank reconciliation, which my colleague will talk about, was introduced that helps automatically match bank statements with transactions to speed up the entire process. In future, we will also be supporting online bank feeds in countries where those are available. For our plant and equipment department users, we added the capability to track repairs and maintenance job sheets, planned and reactive maintenance, scheduling and tracking, and reporting on costs more accurately in respect of these. We also supported multidimensional analysis in our reporting that enables our customers to roll up and group information on custom dimensions to generate some powerful summarizations and insightful analysis. We generally release 2 additional applications within our overall application portfolio. In the last Infinity event, while presenting the roadmap, I talked about integrated planning. We have now introduced advanced planning that helps you to integrate project schedules, budgets in sync, which will give a superb level of control and accuracy in forecasts. We provided integration with a wide range of different third-party planning tools, most of which most users are familiar with. For example, Microsoft Project, Oracle Primavera, Power Projects, to name a few. For our customers who work on frameworks and define cost or cost plus contracts, NEC, HS2, etc., we generally released the framework contract management application as well. This gives our customers the ability to provide a high level of transparency and accuracy in generating payment applications and cost transparency to their clients. We are aware that in the UK, that a number of our customers work on large frameworks, and I'm sure that they will find this extremely useful. Within our digital transformation suite, we made a number of usability enhancements in response to customer feedback. In our e-invoicing capability, we made a number of improvements to improve the smart matching ratio that further boosts automated processing of invoices. As you can see, our teams have been incredibly busy delivering software that helps you work smarter. At the Infinity event held in December 2020, I presented the future roadmap for Xpedeon, highlighting our overall priorities and research areas. Our roadmap articulates a future where digital transformation doesn't purely exist within the organization, but a digital transformation exercise that addresses the larger ecosystem within which our customers operate. This involves working seamlessly with your partners, be they clients, subcontractors, or vendors. With the increase in adoption of building information modeling within the industry, we envisioned a framework on which we could incorporate BIM within the core construction process and not just restricted to design and design collaboration, and further extending it together with the project planning process as well. I'm happy to report that our research has been ongoing on this activity and we have made substantial progress. We are hoping to release a beta candidate to a restricted set of customers in Q4 of our fiscal year ending March 23. This feature will provide integration with BIM 360 from Autodesk and other IFC model frameworks as well. And we can't wait to get it in front of customers. We believe it's going to make a real difference. We have also already delivered the phase 1 of integrated planning, which essentially allows you to plan, to integrate with Microsoft Project or Primavera together with your underlying assumptions in terms of cost budgets, define schedules, and track progress. And following when we release the BIM capabilities as part of our overall roadmap, we will be working towards integrating that with the planning environment and the planning and the progress tracking process as well. So that will sort of complete the loop between the two. Lastly, our customers capture a phenomenal quantity of highly granular information through Xpedeon. Our initial research on the artificial intelligence and machine learning to generate insights, signals, and trends, and using these technologies to forecast cost at completion on construction projects has been very encouraging. During the course of this year, we will be augmenting our teams in this area to begin productizing the research outcomes that we have already achieved. We will keep you posted on the progress we're making, but we certainly hope to make an initial release on this next year. While we continued the enhancement of our core product, these cutting-edge technologies, once incorporated in Xpedeon, will create unimaginable efficiencies for you and your businesses and the larger ecosystem within which you operate. Personally, I cannot wait to announce the general availability of these great capabilities coming in to the Xpedeon portfolio. In the first quarter of last year, we launched on Xpedeon Cloud SaaS platform. And this was following 18 months of extensive engineering, testing, and validation. As announced at Infinity 2020, this marks a major directional shift in our strategy. As can be seen from various industry and technical reports, more and more businesses are moving in this direction. The benefits over the long term are huge. We partnered with Google Cloud Platform to build our data centers for on Xpedeon SaaS offering. That was following an extensive evaluation of the available platforms, and we chose the best technology that will help us achieve our goals and deliver the best possible outcome for our customers. Currently, we have built data centers in the UK and India, and we will be adding additional data centers as we expand our footprint. Let me explain some of the key technical aspects without getting into too much of technical jargon again, in terms of what does this actually mean. So when we look at the overall technology landscape on which the on Xpedeon data centers have been built, we've looked at what are the needs of our customers. Essentially, they need a smooth running system, 24/7, highly available anytime, anywhere. With that as the principal understanding, we looked at when we developed our data centers on top of Google Cloud, we ensured that a lot of these technical elements were correctly factored into the overall architecture. So the elements that go into it are high availability databases. So with a lot of failover resiliency built in. The failover resiliency resides not only within the database, but also within our application servers and presentation servers as well. One of the main things that we concentrated on was auto-scaling infrastructure. And the way we built our platforms was depending on the amount of usage that is happening, the amount of demands that are being placed on the servers, etc., within our data centers. our infrastructure auto scales to increase capacity on demand as required to make sure that we can maintain consistent response times for the application. We also implemented a comprehensive security infrastructure around it, which is best in class. So we looked at various different technologies. We made sure that our cloud armor, as well as all of the security standards that need to be adhered to deliver cloud applications within a business space, are completely adhered to. Within the entire infrastructure, we've got a lot of resiliency within the platform itself, but we've also created extensive routines to manage automated backups, automated verification of the backups, and the entire process of traceability around that to make sure that we can maintain a high level of consistency for our customers. Over and above the technology, what does this actually mean for our customers? So how does all of this technology really translate in terms of benefits for end users who move to the Xpedeon Cloud SaaS platform? So it's available anytime, anywhere. It doesn't really matter. It's a 24/7 access to the system. There are no installations, no servers, no hardware, nothing. Simply log in and access through supported browsers for the platform. We have maximum uptime and consistent performance monitored by our teams. So there is a lot of monitoring infrastructure in place to make sure that if there are any blips that happen along the way, there's adequate turnaround mechanisms to make sure that our customers do not feel any breakage or any pausing of their services. One of the main things that a lot of our customers worry about is, as they scale up the use of Xpedeon within their business, what's going to be the capacity? Do we need to buy additional hardware? Do we need to buy additional software? Is there any additional licensing? On the cloud platform, you can increase the usage of systems and applications without worrying about any capacity. So it just makes it that much easier for you to just scale up the use of Xpedeon within your organizations. Since it's a fully managed service, our teams take care of all of the backups, the updates, the hot fixes, everything that is administrative in nature is completely managed by our teams on Xpedeon platform. So there's absolutely no intervention required from our users, save and except just use the system effectively. All of the core components are always kept current with the updates. So you might have heard, there's constantly more and more security updates, more and more platform updates from Microsoft, etc. Our infrastructure teams make sure that the entire platform is always kept up to date with the latest releases and bug fixes, which come in from not only from the OS level, but the database level, the security infrastructure level, etc. Those are completely managed by our team. And finally, we provide RESTful APIs. That's an upcoming feature on our cloud platform, which will enable our customers to integrate Xpedeon with any other applications that they might have or any other bespoke applications that they may write. So it gives you the extensibility to interoperate Xpedeon with any other platform. So that's a bit about a major offering that we've made, which is our Xpedeon cloud platform. One of the things I'd like to talk about also is where we are as a business, where is our company headed, and just to give you a bit of a view on that. So despite the pandemic, despite everything, despite all the adversities, we have emerged with potentially the strongest fiscal position we have ever had in our history. Right? So as it has happened through this period, we have actually grown. And not only have we grown, we've been able to drive a lot of efficiencies that has really strengthened our financial position to arguably the strongest point. As a result of that, we are undertaking a tremendous expansion plan because on the back of a strong financial position. So we have started undertaking our expansion of teams across all of our geographies. So you might see some new faces on here as well today. There's Bill, there's Chris, who you will meet later in this session. So we've got a number of new introductions already, and we continue to expand our teams in each of the regions on the back of a sound performance that we have had as a business. We are also continuing our territorial expansion. One of the markets that we already entered and have successfully moved into, and which we believe we're going to be consolidating and growing in the near future, is Saudi Arabia. And over and above Saudi Arabia, we are also expanding this year into the US and Canada, or the North Americas, as well as the Asia Pacific. So while our strategy remains to consolidate and grow our existing markets, we're not stopping. We are continuing with our vision, which we set out when we formed the company, that we needed to be a global enterprise. We're well on that particular path now with a fairly well thought out strategy. We have successfully introduced on Xpedeon Cloud. We've already signed up a number of customers. We've been able to test our platform. We've made sure that everything's all set, all guns blazing to take it on a full-scale rollout. And as part of our territorial expansion strategy, the on Xpedeon Cloud platform is going to be central to that. And we hope that a lot of our existing customers will also find value in moving on to the on Xpedeon Cloud platform. Finally, what I'd like to say is, and this is really important, because we invest and we continue to invest 40% of our overall development spend in research and development. So when I talked about earlier about the new applications that are coming in, the roadmap, etc., we continue to spend 40% of all development spend towards building a more comprehensive and a more elaborate Xpedeon offering. And we trust that a lot of the spend that we're doing adds value to our customers and in their businesses and drives performance for them. So that's a bit about our business. I've covered some of the broad areas for you. I've talked about the strategy that we are adopting, and we've got some great lineup of speakers, panelists today. I really look forward to these interactions. It's great that we've got a few of our customers here today who are going to talk about their experiences since the last Infinity event. And I really look forward to having that conversation and hearing what they have to say. So thank you for your time today. I'll sign off for the moment. I'm very much on the webinar. I'll be closely hearing what everyone has to say, and hopefully have a few takeaways from this webinar. So that's it for me for the moment. And thank you again for your time.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Janik. That was great. It's all good to know. It was very exciting and very informative as well. So to crack on with the next session, the next series, next event in this series is our client interaction from around the globe, who will be sharing their experiences. And to start off that, I would like to invite my colleague Surendran, the head of our Middle East and GCC region. He's accompanied by our guest speaker, Khalid Hamid, who is the founder and managing director at PLC Group based in Dubai. They will dive into PLC contracting IT vision, adoption of cloud, and more specifically on Xpedeon. Over to you, Surendran.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. Today, this session, I am delighted to be having the chat with Khalid. His organization, PLC Contracting, undertakes major marine construction and bulk earthwork projects across UAE, and they have left visible footprint around Dubai coastline. Khalid actively steers the strategic decision making for PLC Contracting. He draws on his education and experience in the field to support his team in reaching its objectives and to continue delivering some massive marine projects landmarks. Under his leadership, the team has consistently delivered innovative marine engineering solutions on Lamed project, Burjul Arab platform, and several other large-scale marine projects. Khalid is a recognized figure in marine construction in the Middle East. I'm so happy and delighted and obliged to invite him for this event. Welcome to Infinity 2022, Mr. Khalid Hamid.
Thank you very much, Surendran. Thank you for the nice introduction. It was a bit much more than I expected. I'm glad that we're here in this session. We've been with Xpedeon and Surendran for a few years of relationship, and just very newly we kicked off the Xpedeon model. So how would you like me to start? Just let me know.
Thank you, Khalid. It would be great if you could start with, in your words, more about PLC Contracting and its activities.
PLC Contracting is a marine construction company. We're the flagship company of PL Group, which is everything related to marine. So we have our marine transport division, our charter and hire, engineering, and the construction. And PLC Contracting is the main bread earner for us. We're based in Dubai since 2004. We've had a brand name change during the period. So PLC Contracting is since 2017, actually. We have offices in Abu Dhabi, South Africa, and Johannesburg. We're just starting operation in Saudi under a different brand name for licensing purposes. Our core activity is marine works. So if it's dry, don't call us. We do wet works only. That's what we say. We do marine construction near shore structures, breakwaters, coastal reclamation, offshore piling, beaches, beach nourishment, groins. I mean, in summary, our pitch is we build islands, which sounds nicer actually, but that's what we really do.
Right.
We've been involved in most of the projects in the coastline of Dubai as a company since 2004 and as a group of individuals since '99. So we have involvement in every project that happened on the border, Sharjah to Abu Dhabi, and many of the major projects of Abu Dhabi. We've worked regional here in Bahrain, in Qatar, in Pakistan, in Iraq, in Africa. So, I mean, marine contractors have to travel well.
Yeah.
We're a modest sized company, so we're not one of the big players in the market, and we like to keep it like that. Our marine fleet is a very modest 11 vessels versus others have multiples of that amount.
Yeah.
And we focus on the special equipment. Even our land equipment are the specialized equipment, and we rent from the market the standard equipment that are available.
Right.
We focus on having our survey equipment and technological equipment in-house. Even from a team selection point of view, you'll find that we do not employ junior workforce. So our least paid or the most junior employee will be a foreman. Yeah. And we tend to hire from the market other professions. So we are all in all a group of 100 plus only. And we try not to exceed that. And that's to reduce overheads and to keep a sustainable vision within the market. Our average turnover is $100 million, not counting the past 2 years because we don't want to look at them. We actually skipped 2020. I mean, last year for me is 2019 when I talk about it. We operate with certified management systems, ISO 9001, 14001, and 45001 for quality, environment, health, and safety. Out of our requirement, our wish to operate like that, and the industry requires lots of measures, actually. So we really have to be careful. Environment is a very important aspect in our work because we're involved with most of the environmental agencies in all of our divisions. It's a high-risk industry, very adverse, impacted by weather, impacted by many elements, and it really requires very high project controls and on the spot. We tend to have lots of budget changes at shorter terms than other industries.
Right.
Our management approach is transparency and partnership with others. So this gives you a general idea of what we do and how risk or relaxed it is.
I understand. It's great. It's great insight you have given me. Fantastic. It's wish you all the very best. The way you have done it, we know clearly how instrumental all those kind of areas which you have been covered. Now, I just wanted to understand, what was the IT landscape prior to adopting on Xpedeon, and what were some of the critical challenges you faced, which prompted a change for you for selecting on Xpedeon? So, just wanted to understand your complete. Yeah.
Allow me to start. I mean, we've been together, me and Surendran, since 2015, and I will explain and maybe at the end of this talk. So I had a wish to have a construction ERP very early in the company age. I was not successful due to my team to engage in that in 2015. So we were going through multiple solutions. I mean, when you have a democracy, it doesn't work very nicely usually. So we had lots of opinions of getting off-the-shelf products. We've had experiences with big brand names like Oracle, which is a very good system, works very nicely. Our disappointment was due to our wrong selection and not Oracle. I'm not criticizing Oracle at all, but it worked perfectly on the accounting. It worked very nicely on the procurement, but it did not suit the industry for us. We've, of course, implementation, compatibility. It was very hard. So we consider it our failure that we could not succeed in that. The main challenges was the time spent in implementation, changing the mindset of the service providers and implementation partners to understand what we wanted. Oracle partner did actually employ some industry people, but they were not technology partners. We've surveyed the market and again went back to Xpedeon, and with the lots of improvement I've seen between the review we've had in 2015 and 16, the cloud solution came in that period. The access with this machine was a very interesting thing for me.
Right.
And we made a very hard decision on Xpedeon, not on us. I mean, we've put very harsh terms and conditions and for both parties in order to deliver fast. And I'm happy we did. The team commitment was very high. And I think now I can openly say I have an ERP. I've been lying about having an ERP for the past 14 years. I didn't have one, but we were hiding it very well. So yes, now we can say we're part of the industry.
Great, sir. Great. Thank you so much to touching upon the areas which you rightly put, and very appreciated that. Now, just wanted to understand what were the driving factors while selecting a cloud SaaS model, basically for your core business application, and how do you look at it, that perspective?
Just to understand before I comment, I'm not a technology person. I'm a contractor. I dump rock in the sea. So let's make things clear. Understanding cloud for me is easiness and flexibility. One of the main issues from a budget point of view were the hardware capital expenditure. We live in Dubai, we operate from Dubai. So basically, that's our head office, and having a new server every time, and every service provider tells you need to add this and add that, or you need to talk to the Etisalat, and I don't know what you ask for megahertz, was too complicated for us. When we saw that it's a plug and play solution, I don't need networking and cabling and this, that was nice for us as itself. Every one of our users just sits down, gets into the cloud and connects easily. It was a very light approach during the presentation. So it's a username and a password. So I like that. The remote operation is a very important thing. Our bread earners, our operations team, we operate geographically in multiple locations. I mean, we are a Dubai-based company, but if we get a job now, we're pricing a job in Liberia. So setting up in Liberia and setting that thing, and our system does not work unless our operating team feeds in the data. So right. Everything fails. Understand very well. My main concern is not the accounting. My main concern is the project controls. I went into Xpedeon for project controls. So accounting, I believe it can always be done. So the remote operation was good because then our people can work off their vessels, do the data entry. And the last but not least was the support services. I mean, I do want to work with somebody that's available and I get the upgrades and I get the correct understanding. So I understood that the cloud is a very easy solution for us. And that's where these are the main elements I selected, a cloud solution.
Great, great. Actually, that's the right selection you did, and I appreciate it. Now, just wanted to understand from the same line. Now, what did you find their own Xpedeon cloud proposition, which is most appealing to you?
Well, I mean, I can start with the team industry knowledge. When we selected Xpedeon, it was shortlisted between three main elements, three main parties or service providers. For respect of others, I will not mention them, but we've selected Xpedeon because every member of the team, as you remember, we went through a bit of a pain to sign a contract with. So I know you've had many, many sessions and sales pitches with us. But the knowledge of every team member in the industry was something very important for us. We were not talking to your gentleman handling the finance model as a guy who has a CPA or a CFA. He's a person who understands the construction industry, what's a retention, how the payments are done, and all of this. The easy access for the issue, which is I mentioned a minute ago in the cloud. I mean, the easy implementation for any user. So if I have 50 users, 60 users, how easy it is, and especially, I don't know the model for the personnel, they can insert their stuff in and out. The cost was a main element, I have to say. I mean, the implementation cost within the limited period was very much agreeable and within our budget. And the cost per annum, or the user's cost, the fee we are paying monthly or annual, is very logical. And
right.
The fact that we can increase and adjust the numbers easily, we don't have to buy like a minimum of 200 chunk, and this was
Correct.
one of the main things.
Very
of course, the cloud platform that we talked about before, and the backups. One of the main things was the support services and the backup. I used to buy softwares that are more related to engineering. I get a shock at the end of the year that the backup or the support service is 35% of the price. When you do an upgrade, you're paying again the same price. Here we're getting auto upgrades, and the backup system and the support services are there. Last but not least, I was very fascinated with the fact that your environmental commitment is high in your server farms. Not
right.
many people are operating green energy server farms nowadays, but we understood during the first presentation that you're committed to that, which was one of the good reasons why we chose Xpedeon, actually.
Great, great. Thank you so much. It's very well explained. I can't express my words, but the way though you're not a technical person, the way you have interacted with me, the way you have communicated the subject in line is very precise, and our viewers and the customers will be happy to hear it out from you. One of the subject which again I want to look at it is, now you have a clear growth plan for your business. So in the long-term perspective, as your future roadmap, how do you think the cloud on Xpedeon will really help you?
I mean, as I said, mentioning the users, I also saw the changes. I mean, when we discussed the VAT and the corporate tax, the fact that Xpedeon is upgrading itself on annual basis or short-term basis or when needed. I saw the changes you've done again between the 2015, 16 and now, and how you've accommodated the market requirement, being it with the HR module or others. Okay. I feel it's a modular system that when we grow, we can grow together. Right. Reasoning, when we're doing the test run and the going live, we tried a 1 million contract and a 250 million contract just to see dirhams, that is, to see how it operates, and the system accommodates such things. So we felt that you can follow the changes and the construct updates, and Xpedeon can help us in that. Hopefully I'm correct. I mean, let's see. I mean, you have a good R&D division. I remember when we talked about the Saudi thing, you were very quick in presenting. My Saudi team was very impressed of your knowledge of the taxation and the VAT there. So it's not only a personal knowledge, your system understands it and allows for it. And there's multiple changes in the region, being it from taxation or regulations in the HR, that we do require such a thing.
Yeah, we do communicate the scalability aspect very much between us when we discussed about the Saudi operations, especially the VAT and the compliance things, which you got that clear insight into our system. Very good. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, I just wanted to understand from you, currently where the implementation is gone and you are on the Xpedeon on cloud platform, what is the current business experience with on Xpedeon till today? Now, when you look at it currently, the way you have implemented it out at PLC Contracting.
I mean, I think we're nearly go live in all the systems. I can say we started on a very tight schedule for you. But just to explain to everybody, this was a long discussion that we've spent more time planning than the implementation, but it works because I think we commenced in September, October.
October, yes.
October, and with a plan to go live 1st of January, I had to put a freeze on the operation in December due to some internal issues of availability of some personnel. But at the moment, I know that I'm actually reading the updated report of yesterday. Procurement, subcontract, inventory, accounts are live. Yeah. HR and payroll, I just approved the payroll now on the system, which was very interesting.
Right.
We're handling the 2 new projects we signed on there to see the CVR system and the cost control. So I can say I'm impressed with the time we reached the implementation, and now we're going through the data migration, which is a 3 years data migration we're doing. There was a smart decision to put an opening balance 1st of January, and then we do the upgrades later. We're still there to see how it's going to perform, but I can say we're very highly satisfied with where we are now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do you have any other subject to put it in front of our viewers?
Well, anything? I mean, if the viewers are users or if the viewers are technology people, I would like to give my personal experience in this. I mean, I always say experience comes from either success or failure. So I'm a company or a person who failed in 3 ERPs. So I think I have enough experience in failing ERPs. And we've done lessons learned to understand. And I would advise anybody selling the product or buying the product to really consider the following. First, we're contractors, and contractors and engineers by nature are too arrogant and they think they know better. Right. You as a service provider have to stop them. So you need to get the management commitment that they will stop their team from innovation, because the reasons we failed in 3 ERPs was every one of my employees wanted the ERP to create things for them that, I mean, Elon Musk cannot do, but they thought it can be done. You need to get the team buy-in, you need to get the team commitment, and you cannot fail them. What we've done, me and Surendran, we've put some deadlines and we made sure that it's delivered. So the team trusts the system, and you have to give them the time. The problem is if you don't give them enough time, they cannot deliver. And the most important one, that we have to have our processes in place before the ERP comes in and do a gap analysis. Right. And that's what we've done together. So we were modest about saying, this is what we want, tell us if the system works or not. Sometimes we are over demanding. So I prefer that, tell us what the system wants, let it operate, and then we start upgrading it gradually. Right. Other than that, I would recommend Xpedeon for a construction company. We're happy about it. And I'm telling you, out of bad experiences I've had before, we're very happy.
Thank you so much. I don't know how to express my gratitude, my obligations, the way we are working together. We have been working very long, I know. Now we have got an opportunity now to start reworking again, joining again back to your firm. Then now we make sure that we deliver the way we promised. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's Mr. Khalid Hamid, founding and managing director of PLC Contracting. Over to you, Bill. Thank you. Thank you.
Great. I really enjoyed this, and I hope that everyone else enjoyed this as well. Thank you so much, Surendran. Thank you so much, Khalid. That was some great insights in the industry from a man who's talking from a lot of experience on the back. So that was great. We got some really good sales tips as well. So I'm into that. Moving on to the next session in client interaction. Next up is my brilliant colleague and friend, Chris, who is serving Xpedeon as head of sales of Ireland and UK. And joining him is David Bentley. David is a commercial director of J&. Bentley. He has more than 30 years of experience in construction industry, and he's been involved in civil engineering for a really long time. His passion is IT transformation, hence his journey with Xpedeon. So from the last 20 years, he's really been focused on changing the whole IT department and transformation. His passion and aspirations are machine learning and artificial intelligence. I'll let Chris take over, so we can actually listen from David that what we're sharing today. Chris and David.
Thanks, Bill. Welcome, David, and thanks for joining us for this year's Infinity event. Just to jump in, you've been utilizing Xpedeon for roughly 7 years now and have been expanding the usage of the software continuously. What have you and the team been up to since the last event?
Oh, we've been very busy, as we've now completed the migration and rollout of the final processes onto Xpedeon, which were the defined cost application payment for framework contracts, the certificate of payment, the commercial valuation, and the processing of payments for the joint venture companies that we're involved in to the participating companies. This is a very significant milestone, as it now means that all business processes which result in a financial transaction are completely on Xpedeon. On our defined cost contracts, all our actual costs are now mined and translated to each of our clients' specified method of defined cost. So the applications, the payments are calculated automatically. Additionally, for internal reporting, using the commercial valuations, where the translation rules are standardized, we can report the data to suit our internal requirements with no additional work. It's great to know automatically when you process a cost booking document, what the amount that will be paid by clients, as well as the internal cost. We have achieved our final end goal in eliminating our very complex legacy spreadsheet-based application payment commercial variation joint venture distribution processes. This has also meant that our financial reporting is completely totally live, and there is no manual processing involved in putting together reports or reconciliations. It's great that both the commercial and financial teams now use the same data.
So being able to have a unified information between your commercial and finance teams is positively a huge step forward. I can't imagine the satisfaction it's brought to both teams. How did they find the rollout?
The migration was very complicated, but through great teamwork between ours and the Xpedeon team, it was relatively trouble-free. A special thanks must go out to Beth Harvey and her team, who have been truly wonderful in supporting us. We have now completed 12 months of using the new processes, creating over 3,000 applications for payments and commercial valuations. I'm very pleased how our 100+ commercial staff have taken to the new processes. And it already feels like they're completely embedded in our business. Post go live, the support has continued, and we've worked well together to identify some further enhancements to these new processes to make these processes more efficient, which we look forward to in the pending 3.3 release.
So migrating to process that many applications must have saved a lot of time for the commercial team. Without putting you on the spot, how much time has it saved?
Well, running our legacy processes, it would take a QS 1 to 2 hours to translate the data from internal cost to external. When we now run applications, payments and commercial variations, these are generally creating less than 5 minutes. So doing 300 a month, it changes something from what could take between 300 and 600 hours to something what will only take about 25 hours per month. Massive change.
2 hours down to 5 minutes, that is a very solid return for a company anyway. So you've also got a very close working relationship with us here at Xpedeon. You, along with our other customers, have brought strong pushes to our developments. Other than what you've mentioned, what processes have you introduced from 3.1 and 3.2 releases?
Yeah, both 3.1 and 3.2 have brought new functionality to us. The dynamic forms related enhancements are allowing more of the non-financial business processes to be moved on to Xpedeon. We are now using it for safety reporting, the undertaking of audits. We will also record the statutory inspections and site-based permits. This gives us so much visibility across the whole business. Our entire inspection and testing processes have been built using the dynamic forms technology. It's being now rolled out for a successful pilot. Being able to do this through the mobile app on the phones is a complete game changer. We've also started using it for HR related processes such as record of medical declarations, and we will be using it for managing the return to work processes following absences. We're also in the process of going live with attendance-based plant returns, which use the employee timesheet as a basis for creating the internal plant returns for equipment such as vans and the tools within those vans. This is going to save our plant team an enormous amount of time in deploying a significant number of internal plant items, and it will also improve our data accuracy.
So 7 years in and continually looking at ways to improve processes utilizing Xpedeon. That is some great insight on how you've taken to the software, and through such experience, what would you pass on to our customers?
Well, we've already benefited from the enhancement to Xpedeon from your other customers, particularly in e-invoicing, such as in the processing screen, adding the color code column, the way that you can create GRNs from e-invoicing, the automatic shifting of the dates, and the standalone invoice approvals for non-matching invoices. Our accounts team are really grateful for them. So please keep pushing for more enhancements. It's great to see that algorithms are so encouraging of this with launching the new custom voice, which will give us customers somewhere to come together and work together in developing ideas for the continued roadmap of Xpedeon.
So yeah, it's been interesting to hear what you've been able to do over the last couple of years. What are you excited for in the future with Xpedeon?
I am very excited to see how AI and machine learning will be used to improve Xpedeon. Yeah, I look forward to further integration with in Microsoft projects, such as incorporate absence requests into Outlook calendars and better interface of data for use within Power BI and Power Apps. And I also look forward to a time when we can select an employee on documents such as requisitions and orders, so we can better manage the certification accreditation of our employees.
That's great. Thanks, David. Jay and Bentley have been fantastic at adopting the Xpedeon solution, and I'm sure your words have left others understand areas that they may not have taken advantage of yet. Thanks very much. Back to you, Bill.
Pleasure.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Chris. That was great. Okay, so yeah, guys, I need spotlight on me. Can't see myself. Great. Thank you, Shuri. Okay, so yeah, that was great. It's really great to hear from the people who have been a part of Xpedeon journey, that how their journey has been and what are the future plans. So carrying on to the theme of talking to the customer interactions, now we will move to Vivek. Vivek has been with Algorithm almost the day started as a business. He does not need much introduction. His deep experience and expertise in construction is known to most of our customers, and usually he's the go-to person when they need something out of box thinking to address tricky problems. Now, joining with Vivek is our next speaker, someone who has 30 years plus experience in construction and utility industries. She's a finance director for Triconex and Nexus Group company secretary, and she's a strong supporter for mental health in construction industry, which is one of the issues which has not been addressed so far. So Dawn is with us, and Dawn was in Lost Infinity as well back in 2020. So it would be great to hear that how has her journey has been so far. So Dawn and Vivek, I welcome you both, and you guys can take over now.
Thank you, Will. Thank you very much. Salam alaikum to my Middle East friends. Good afternoon, good evening, India, and good morning, UK customers. Welcome, Dawn. Welcome to our office.
Thank you for having me.
It's always great to have you, and special thanks that you are back again. So, Dawn, as far as Triconex is concerned, business process re-engineering, the core focus is towards digitalization. Can you please shed some light on this?
So we were aware that as a business, we had data in many different sources, spread throughout various programs and on far too many spreadsheets. We wanted to get to the point where we had one source of data that was accessible to everyone and which people weren't questioning.
Yeah.
Too many sorts of places to hold data, and you end up with people spending time questioning it rather than believing what they're looking at. So we wanted to get to one source of the truth. And Xpedeon's giving us that. And an additional benefit has been that the system is processing for us. So e-invoicing in particular has made a huge difference to the speed and the time that people spend just processing data. They're now able to use the information that's coming out instead and add value.
Okay, that's great. So spreadsheet to Xpedeon, automated digitalized invoicing. It's a great journey. Now, can you just let me know the challenges you faced during this entire journey of digitalization?
So as a business, we had to acknowledge that we needed to improve some of our processes if we were going to be able to grow. And we had to look at some process engineering. So one of the big challenges has been people and getting people involved, getting people engaged. It's key to make sure that you can make the change and that it stays embedded in the business. Otherwise, you'll do it once and you'll go back a month later and someone's gone back to the spreadsheet instead. So it's been key to make sure that everything's done in Xpedeon is through engagement with other employees. It's taken us a couple of years to get to where we are now. We've been very much focusing on input, but the business hasn't felt the pain either. We've been able to do it nice and slowly, integrating a little bit at a time. And we're now at the point where other parts of the business are wanting to know when it will be their turn to use Xpedeon.
Oh, great, great, great. So basically, as of right now, Xpedeon is very much embedded in day-to-day functionalities of the departments which you have chosen. And almost every employee in that department is working on Xpedeon, if I say so. That's really nice to know. Now, from Infinity 2020, when you joined, and Infinity 22, it is almost 15 months. So can you please share with us the journey of these 15 months with respect to Triconex or Nexus Group?
So one of the big things has been the introduction of payroll system.
Okay.
Which means that it has pushed Xpedeon out to all employees in some form or another. We use the timesheet function to capture our costs quickly and accurately. We have auto attendance. We run weekly payrolls, we run monthly payrolls, but also we've introduced the employee portal, which is allowing people to view their pay slips and will be used for people to book their holidays on and manage their absence through. So that has been a big thing, and it has helped push the Xpedeon name out there very much. On the back of payroll going through, the HR team have also started to use it. So they're using one set of data. It's stopped duplication. We're now not inputting information onto a spreadsheet to share between the payroll and HR team. They're all accessing it in one place. That massively helps our GDPR compliance as well. We are using contract management for our variations. At one point, that was being put into one system and then transferred to create the variation in Xpedeon. Now it's straight into Xpedeon. Huge saving of time, greater improvement of visibility of data, and less duplication going on. So that's a big thing for us. The supply chain portal is being rolled out with our subcontractors. This will reduce the amount of time, again, that the accounts team spend using Xpedeon for data input, because the subcontractor will be doing a lot of it themselves. The subcontractor will also get visibility of what's happening with their invoice. At the moment, a lot of it is about getting on the phone. Has it been approved? When am I going to get paid? By using the portal, the subcontractor will be able to see that themselves. So it improves the ease of communication between us and the subcontractor as well. The shift over the last couple of months has been towards outputs. So being able to see what we can get from all the inputs. We spent a lot of time getting the inputs right so that the outputs that we see and the information we're now able to get is in a good place. Rather than people spending loads and loads of time collating cost information, CVRs are now producing them for us. And one of the big steps has obviously been the introduction of dashboards via BI reporting.
Right.
A
Yes.
big step for us. It's allowing financial information, management reporting, and some department productivity reporting as well that we used to do outside of the system. I think we've got some
Yes.
examples to share with people of the starting point of this.
Yeah, that's true. Let's look at a few of the dashboards. Yep.
So one of them allows us to look at financial reporting across our companies. We have a group of companies, and this dashboard will allow one place to go to get high-level information on each of the companies without having to click around loads of different screens. And the graphs will help us with looking at trends and things.
And it was earlier a month-end exercise, which has now become like as and when you want it.
Yes, that is.
And no more spreadsheet, no more collation,
No,
nothing.
no, spreadsheets.
On the fly.
Spreadsheets is not allowed as a word to
Perfect.
bring in a new.
Oh, it's so nice to hear. Oh, wow.
Can't have that. And then management reporting is allowing us to report on regions, on trends, by different type of information. We were doing this before through cost ledgers, but the time spent trying to export the data was horrendous.
Right.
So just being able to a click of a button on a screen, and as you say, at any point in time, you can see how it's going during the month without having to wait for the month end.
Right.
And then the other item we're starting to look at is departmental productivity. Again, we do some of this reporting now, but it's all about exporting, doing a count of orders, creating a spreadsheet that can create a dashboard so that we can see how things are going. This at any point in time will allow us to look at productivity within a department, value of orders being produced from our buying teams, but we'll be rolling this out across looking at e-invoicing, how that works, and subcontract invoice production as well.
Wow. 15 months, and I mean, you have covered a lot of ground.
It's been a busy time, and considering a lot of it has been done remotely as well,
Yeah.
we have made great progress.
Actually, I'm speechless with the kind of progress you have. Don't you have been using Xpedeon now for very long? So if I have to ask you a very simple question, like for our customers and people who would be getting onto Xpedeon, because there are quite a few new audiences today who are going to use Xpedeon very soon. So just what is the key differentiator of Xpedeon for you?
It's the ease of use and the familiarity that users get when they look at one module and going on to another module. When you bring another module in, it's the same look to it. It's all very clear which fields need filling in and which ones have to be done. But that familiar look and feel helps you introduce new modules quite easily. I think also the import and export of data in Xpedeon is really good. Some of the importing of opening balances has been straightforward. The import of data for employees when we were setting up the payroll, that was really good to do because we weren't losing days and days rekeying information. So that's been a really good thing. And we're finding the training videos really useful.
Oh, so nice to know.
Yes, we do dip into them quite a lot, and we find it'll help us answer some of our queries ourselves, but also that shows us some of the things that we weren't quite aware the system does. So it makes us look at it and expand our use of the system. So they are really good.
Thank you, Don. Thank you very much for sharing your views for us and for our other customers. So that's all from our side. Namaskar. Over to you, Bill.
Thank you very much, Dawn. Thank you very much, Vivek. That was great to hear. The best part, which I liked about, is what Dawn took from the last Infinity. She actually shared that, and then she took what other customers were saying on board as well, which helped them achieving the results they were looking for. So thank you so much again, both. Now, carrying on to the theme of customer interaction. Next, I've got a story from Oman led by my colleague Ravi Sharma. As we all know that there's a lot of changes in global tax legislations, and Ravi Sharma, who is our senior project manager, he would be talking to Rajiv, who is an ERP project manager, and Ravi Sharma would share this story of tax legislation with us. So Ravi, I will just give the floor to you.
Thank you, Bill. Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending Infinity 2022. Today, I will be talking about an extremely important topic from a corporate compliance standpoint: tax compliance and Xpedeon support for the continuously changing and evolving legislation. As we have seen over the last few years, governments across the world are continuously reviewing, changing, and digitalizing taxation systems. This presents continuous challenges for the industry to modify their system in order to comply with the changes, both in terms of process and time frame. For every industry, it is very, very important to store all relevant information in a structured manner for tax submission and for any future tax scrutiny or verification. I will be talking about Xpedeon Global Tax Engine and how it has enabled our customer to rapidly modify their system in order to comply with the changes with ease and in a accepted time frame. The highly flexible nature of our global tax engine allows us to rapidly modify system to respond to the changes in the legislation and also ensure strict compliance with the rules. Over the last few years, we have seen a number of such tax-related changes. Such examples are MTD and domestic reverse charge in construction in the UK, introduction of VAT in UAE, Oman, GST in India, and VAT e-invoicing in Saudi Arabia. In each instances of these changes, Xpedeon has delivered comprehensive compliance solution to each of our customer in the region, comprising necessary functionality at each stage of the process, from ordering to invoicing, as well as periodic return submissions. Not only we have supported our customer by the release of software enhancement to support the changes, but also we have worked closely with our customer to ensure smooth switchover to the new tax regime and protocol. This is in keeping with our ethos of being equal stakeholder with our customer in the use of Xpedeon in the organization. One case that I would like to talk about is the recently completely new introduction of VAT in Oman and how we enabled our customer to quickly adopt to the new system and ensure compliance. While this is one such business case, our team across the world have been working similarly in different markets, be it the UK, UAE, Saudi Arabia, or India. In 2021, we successfully implemented VAT in Oman across all our customers in a structured manner within the time frame. VAT in Oman was scheduled to be in place from 16th April 21, which was also the peak COVID time where restrictions were there on on-site travel, and in-person office meetings. This presented a big challenge for us as well as our customer for the successful transition. All of our meetings had to be conducted online to provide consultancy, training, as well as ensuring timely rollout of the system. In the run-up to the VAT implementation Oman, our development team had configured the system with the required changes to ensure compliance, and also conducted necessary validation to ensure that the transition is smooth. This involved going through the legislation, ensuring that the Xpedeon text engine is mapped with the requirement and delivering the requirement as per the time schedule. Xpedeon was ready with the Oman VAT extension well in time, giving sufficient time to our customer to plan for the software upgrade and for the transition. Keeping all these challenges in our mind, we designed a structured plan and strategy to ensure smooth transition. This consisting of conducting multiple online meetings with our customer to educate them on the new tax, demonstrating the VAT process with live example, conducting training for the customer's team member with their data in their instance, recording the online session and sharing standard video tutorials and materials for future reference. Furthermore, after the go live, our team closely interacted with our customer to help them in preparing the first return from the system. The field consulting team worked closely with the client team members to help them in the scrutiny of VAT data from the system, helping them in passing any adjustment entry, and finally supporting them in the preparation of VAT return from the system. This ensured that we smoothly, timely, and successfully roll out VAT across all customers in Oman. At this moment, I would be welcoming Mr. S.N. Rajiv, ERP Project Manager, Towel Group Companies, Oman. Towel Group is one of the biggest construction companies in Oman who has successfully implemented VAT across their companies within the time frame. Mr. S.N. Rajiv, as the ERP Project Manager, was closely involved with the rollout. He is going to share his valuable experience in the transition. Over to Rajiv. Welcome, Rajiv.
Thank you, Ravi. Firstly, we would like to thank Xpedeon for inviting us for this forum and to share our experiences on rolling out VAT across TG group of companies in Xpedeon. Okay, and Towel Engineering, which is an arm of WJ Towel Group, is a young, dynamic, and a successful business comprising of 11 specialized and professionally managed engineering companies. The company was founded in 2001 as a one-man operation by Mr. Balaji Srinivasan, the founder, group CEO, and the managing director of Towel Engineering Group. It has grown to 8,000 people as on 2022, I would say. And then being part of the WJT group, we were instructed by the group management to demonstrate the readiness of the Xpedeon system with respect to VAT rollout before the VAT came into existence. For us, it was a first experience, such a major tax legislation to be implemented across the Towel Group companies. And in fact, it was a new law to all the companies in Oman, and there was a lot of uncertainties and doubts associated within every CFO's mind. And moreover, at the start, the detailed guidelines from the Oman Tax Authority was also not available. So keeping all these challenges in mind, Xpedeon, with their experience in VAT rollout in various regions, guided us extensively on the process and provided us a structured way to roll out the VAT in the company. I would like to especially mention here that team at Xpedeon was very proactive with their approach, and they have been engaging with us on this front from the beginning of 2021 and demonstrated the functionalities, the capabilities of the system. So this had given us a full confidence to our team as well as the entire WJT group, including our VAT consultants, about the readiness to roll out the Xpedeon VAT system for the company. During the implementation, we could clearly notice that the consulting experience of Xpedeon team was having a proper plan and strategy, and the training methodology that was used and the materials that was provided, which helped us a lot in the smooth transition to the new VAT environment. So I would say our end users also could easily understand and adopt to the changes in the system, and VAT reporting were so simple, powerful, and was meeting all the statutory requirements, which was a new experience to all of us in the Towel group. Further complicated issues such as how to process the reverse charge of VAT of Oman, custom invoices, how to ensure reporting of non-VAT supplies, etc., were also addressed with professional guidance from the consultant of Xpedeon. So as a group project manager and project head for ERP, I'm very much satisfied with the timely rollout of VAT. And as of today, we proudly say that we are successfully filed VAT return for the last 3 quarters in the system without having any difficulties across 5 companies. I am very confident and on the capability of our Xpedeon system on the VAT compliance, which is very, very important to everyone. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you very much, Rajiv, for sharing your valuable experience. Thank you very much. Over to Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, Ravi. That was great. Okay, so moving on to the next segment, I've got Lakshmi Chobe with me, who is Head of Customer Support Services for Xpedeon. She has been one of the true advocates of Xpedeon for several years now. She has a profound understanding of the Xpedeon platform and tremendous experience in delivering customer success. So Lakshmi would be talking about some of the features which we have launched since last Infinity and the rollout of those features. So Lakshmi, I welcome you onto the stage.
Thank you, Bill. And thank you all for being here today, for taking the time. I shall just give me a minute to am I audible and is my screen visible?
Yes, it is, Lakshmi.
All right, yeah, thank you. Thanks again, Bill, and a special thanks to all our guests who have spoken so highly for the vote of confidence in our abilities. We are greatly enthused by the kind of response, by hearing it out of the horse's mouth, if I may say. I'm sure it's going to be a great boost for all our teams who are all participating here. So I shall talk about the features and which have been touched upon briefly already by some of our guests, because this is the good work we have done since Infinity 2020. Some new features, some enhancements, and even a new process, which Janak also touched upon briefly in his opening speech. So I'll begin with what we did for the accounts and finance module users, and we'll go through it all. Right. So we introduced the advanced bank reconciliation process, which has turned out to be a great time saver. So it was very well received by the users, where previously it used to be a manual process. We still have the manual process going for those who haven't yet moved on. But what used to be a process of ticking off an item on the statement, crossing it out from the books, what we now have is a simple process, a quick 3-step process, where you configure your bank, which is a one-time exercise, where you say which of the banks are going to be reconciled using the advanced reconciliation process. And thereafter, it's a two-step process where every time you reconcile, you just import your bank statement in the universal MT940 format, and you reconcile on the click of a button. It's the bulk of your bank transactions are going to be reconciled, and the few that are left can be done manually on the same screen. So now this was very well received for the one reason that it's a time saver, and for the other that it's an effort saver. Now moving on to another feature which has always been part of Xpedeon, which we have enhanced greatly, made it more usable really, is the month-end, the period closure process. So this is everyone really knows the kind of pressures that come along with the period closure process. It's the month end, and you already have a long list of activities that you need to strike off your list before you're able to close the book sets. And add to that the incessant follow-ups that are required with document approvers, because you cannot close a book unless you have all the documents in a fully approved state. The whole process turns out to be very stressful for those who are responsible for the period closure activity. The approvers, rightly so, are not happy to approve a document only because of a looming deadline, period closure deadline, because they have their diligence to do before they approve a document. So this seemingly paradoxical situation that we had on our hands, we found a lateral solution for it. We simply delinked, or rather we removed the dependency of the period closure process from the approvals process. So this, what we internally refer to as a cycle of stress, where it's the month end and you start the follow-up process while you're working on your own to-do list, and you don't get a response from the approver because he's busy doing his work. Now we've simply eliminated the whole cycle by making this delinking the two. So now when it's period closure time, if you have not set up group closures, it's as simple as just going to your books and closing them. It's a single one-step process. You simply say close and you're done. You can subsequently look at the exceptions and clear them. If you have implemented closure groups, then it's a slightly different process, because closure groups require to be closed at various levels. So in that, when that's the process you have implemented, you will need to first eliminate your exceptions. An exception is only a document that is partially approved and sitting in the period that requires to be closed and stopping it from being closed. So all you need to do is move it out of the current period and free up your period for closure. So it's still an easily achievable process, even if you have implemented closure groups. So now period closure is not anymore a task for which the deadlines are not easy to meet. It's now far more achievable than that. And I'm sure many of our users have gone on to adopt the period closure methods, both period closure methods. Now, moving on to the next topic, which even David touched upon, is e-invoicing. We spoke about e-invoicing during the Infinity 2020 event, and it's been successfully implemented by several customers since then. We have been closely following the performance, if I may say, of the process. And we have been listening to our customers to understand what their experiences are and how we can make the system better. So turns out that the very premise that receipts will be received, the goods will be received prior to the invoice had to be rethought. So how's that for a problem? An interesting one, yes, to have on our hands, all due to digitalization. What turned out was that the invoices were reaching our customers way before the goods were being received. So we had not many options, not many resolutions staring at us in the face. So what we had to do was, again, think a little out of the box. I will not go into the details of the technicalities of the solution that we provided, but suffice it to say that we have seen a great improvement, a remarkable improvement in the ratio of matched to non-matched invoices. What you see on screen is an actual representation. It's not just a graph showing twice the ratio. This is from the statistics that we've been working with over the last year and year or so. Moving on to the engineering side of business, we have listened again to our customers, and on demand, we have come up with a planning module. It's a new module. We called it Xpedeon Planning. And we quizzed our customers before we took this up as a project. We drew from our past experiences where we had previously tried to integrate Xpedeon with our application with a planning tool, with Primavera. And we decided that we needed to change the approach. And we said this time around, we let our customers, we let you decide the planning tool that you want to use. And we won't restrict ourselves to integrating with one selected planning tool. We'd rather just write a seamless interface which could talk to any planning tool of your choice. So that's what we went ahead and did. We have written a simple interface which will seamlessly integrate it with say Microsoft projects or Primavera or Asta Power project or any planning tool at all of your choice. The interface itself has two steps, if I may say. One, where you import your planning files into Xpedeon, into the interface. And two, where you allocate the tasks from the BOQ that you've set up in Xpedeon. So this is basically a sample planning file from MSP, but it could be from any planning tool at all. And what we have in Xpedeon, this is the screen where you will be importing your tasks from your planning file. And there's a host of rules written around this because we need to make sure that what you are bringing into Xpedeon, there's no loss of information. And what we have in your planning tool is exactly what you have in Xpedeon too. And you can, once you have imported your tasks, your planning tasks into Xpedeon, you can allocate the quantities from your BOQ that you have set up in Xpedeon into your to the tasks that you have brought forward. Now, once the allocation process is complete, then you just go back into Xpedeon and generate the execution plan. What the plan does is what it has always done, except that now it's going to take up the task, the duration of the task, etc., from the planning tool, from what you've had in planning, which you've brought into Xpedeon. And your resource requirement is going to be generated accordingly too. Now, once you have done this, you're again working in Xpedeon, which is no change in processes from what you've been doing all these years. Once your plan is generated, you go about business as usual, you record your progress, you close your period progress, and then again, you move back into the interface to retrieve your progress from the closed period and map it back into your planning task. If in the meanwhile, your planners have come up with a revised plan, you could import that and assign the progress into the imported planning file, the revised plan. Now, the good thing about all this is that every revised plan comes into Xpedeon with its own version. So there is complete control of how we are importing the data. So reconciliation is completely obviated. There's never going to be a question of which version of file am I looking at, because every version is individually saved in Xpedeon. So once you have retrieved the progress and once you have allocated the progress from Xpedeon to your revised plan, what you're going to be able to do is compare your planner's progress with the actual progress that has happened on site as reflected in Xpedeon. You could make corrections as you wish and go back to generating your revised execution plan. And this is a cyclical process. It will happen month after month as you go through delivering the project. So basically, this here is a pictorial depiction of what we have done. It's the complete package. You can see the bits in green are the new parts. You can see they are interspersed with what you have always been doing in Xpedeon. So ultimately, this is the best of both worlds. So this is the briefest in which I could describe the whole process. It's actually a new module. So if it has piqued your interest and if you think it's something you want to implement, please do reach out to us. We'll be happy to do a detailed demonstration to you at any suitable time. Now, moving on to the next development, which has touched, I think, the maximum number of users, is the development of analysis dashboards. Now, these are actually operational dashboards. The target audience is a junior management. And the objective is to make sure that you're able to stay on top of your operations. You're able to run your department more efficiently by tracking all the key metrics, your KPIs, your the trends. So you could write your own dashboards. Basically, what's expected of operational dashboards is that you're on top of what the work or of the deviations if they were to occur, and you're able to take a call, you're able to raise an alarm, you're able to take action to control the damage or prevent the damage, so the case may. We have, and this capability is provided over 100 registers, which is a whopping number of registers. And it's also now going to be a part of Xpedeon in the sense any new report that we write is going to come with these dashboarding capabilities. You will have an operational dashboard that you can write off that report. So these are some of the sample dashboards that have come packaged with Xpedeon in the last upgrade. The idea is so you get to see the possibilities this opens up to you. You can write your own dashboards. These are the standard lists that you see on screen. You can, if you change your mind, you can delete the dashboard you've written. You can delete the ones that we have written. Basically, sky is the limit. Your imagination is the limit to what you get out of this development. Now, that was about one development we are all very proud of. Now, moving on to other areas of enhancements, like there have been many, like Janak said, it's 200 plus features that we have introduced, small and big. So not all of them can be covered right now here in this presentation, but I shall touch upon some generic ones, which may be of interest to those who haven't already seen 3.2 in any great detail. So in the system administration area, we have introduced password complexity control. We have streamlined, we have refined the way we are managing layout changes, customized layout changes. And in inventory management, we have devised a way by which you can revise your latest stock transaction date, which is a very useful feature when you are closing your books and realize that you've gone past the date and done something that you shouldn't have in inventory. We have worked on plant. David spoke about it, about how we have integrated the attendance-based plant returns. We have done other stuff too in the area of plant. We have moved the heavier reports to job queues, which will really free up your screens. Basically, when you're running a heavy report, it just runs in the background and allows you to do your work. We have improved supplier evaluation, which was an integral part of Xpedeon since the beginning, but we've just made it better. And there's a lot more that we have done, which I shall not cover all of it here. One of the most important things, though, which required some focused attention from our teams, was the migration from SVN to Git. This took a concerted effort, maybe a year, maybe a little more than a year, but it gave us spectacular results. So what we now have is a superior method of version control, and it has radically changed the way our development teams work. It's changed the way we deliver to you. We have completely revamped the release mechanism. We've done away with minor releases, which used to be a bi-monthly activity, because we have a way of delivering software continuously to you now. There's a continuous method of being able to send out hotfixes, of being able to apply service packs. Now, the hotfix manager is a tool which I must say took up a lot of effort, but has come out, it's given us really good results. And it's getting better. It's still evolving. It's getting better. We are confident that very soon application of upgrades or hotfixes or service packs is not going to require all that much coordination. It's going to be made far simpler and far more streamlined. Now, these are some of the things which I have spoken about, and thanks once again to our guests because they validated most of what I had to say. I didn't really have to try too hard to impress because of the work they did before me. And these are the milestones, I'll say, the highlights of what we've achieved since Infinity 2020. There's a lot more that's lined up for release very soon, which I'll allow my colleagues to speak about. That's it from me. Thank you all. Thanks once again for attending today's session, for being with us here, for taking the time. Thank you. Over to you, Bill.
Thank you, Lakshmi. That was great. Thank you so much for updating us about all the features. Now, next in line to the client interaction series, and then we had Lakshmi who told us about the features which we introduced since Infinity 2020 to Infinity 2022. I will request the host to put me on the spotlight. Thank you. Yeah, okay, great. So next up is next session is around my colleagues who will be updating us about the new and exciting features which I promised to you guys in the start of the event. Next one is Rishabh Golcha. He's our consultant from GCC, and he'll be talking about some of the exciting features we're releasing in April, including progress reporting inside diaries. So over to you, Rishabh.
Hi, thank you, Bill. Can somebody put the spotlight on me, please?
Yes, and while we're sorting out the Rishabh's camera, one thing I would say that if you guys have any questions and answers as announced in start, you can still write them in Q&A session. Our team will be answering all of your queries. If not right now, shortly after the session, so please feel free to ask the questions. Over to you, Rishabh.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Greetings to everyone here today. We have several exciting features which will be made available in our forthcoming release 3.3. I will introduce a great new feature called progress reporting and site diaries in this particular segment. Irrespective of the project size, cost, and duration, one thing is certain, that the action is at the construction site. Every day is a new day. Therefore, it becomes imperative that project stakeholders be informed of progress and other site-related information at a regular cadence. One of the easiest ways is to fill out a progress report and distribute it to the relevant stakeholders. Now, Xpedeon's progress report or the site diary capability is a paradigm shift in how project teams can communicate. It facilitates communication between the offices, boardrooms, and the site. It helps everyone involved stay on the same page. So while drafting this requirement, we studied the progress report formats used by multiple organizations. Every report had a section describing work done at site, but that was where the similarities ended. Each organization had different focus areas, and thus the other elements differed from company to company. There is no standard format for a progress report. For example, some organizations list incidents that may have occurred at site, while other organizations track the risks, delays, and so on. Thus, in Xpedeon, we have developed a flexible infrastructure through which all your requirements can be met. It is highly configurable and customizable and gives you the power to define the data that you wish to capture and view. We have divided the system into the following areas that can be configured for capturing information quickly and easily from the project sites, which is the work done at the site on that particular day. Photos and videos of the work done can be attached along with other documents like the drawings, MOMs, etc. User-defined data elements in the form of multiple rows can be configured for various additional areas. Now, what those areas can be, for example, it could be information like incidents, risks, and delays, as previously mentioned. The other information can be entered using other fields, which can be configured, as we call it extension data in our language. These can be the weather conditions, job site conditions, and so on. So to make things easy for the site-based users, we have provided data capturing via mobile application and the core application as well. The progress reports entered at sites are presented to the managers and stakeholders in the form of dashboards. So apart from the work done and other flexible areas discussed in the previous slide, other areas and data from Xpedeon processes is also available in these dashboards for your reference. You could include areas such as plant and equipment deployed at site, material received and issued, material in stock, attendance at the site in terms of headcount of labor and staff, etc. These dashboards, they give you the power to understand what is happening at the site at the touch of a button. Isn't that exciting? Let me now show you a few of screens that how the data can be captured from the mobile application as well as the core application. And these are few of the dashboards that can be configured. Now these are purely representative and can be configured to highlight the areas that you would wish to see in your project sites. In conclusion, let us see some key benefits of using Xpedeon's progress report or site diary capability. First and foremost, it is highly customizable and can be configured to meet each organization's specific requirements. It helps to digitize the process that is either manual right now or done via emails and even through WhatsApp messages. It streamlines the communication between the project team and the management. And instead of viewing data in multiple screens, messages, emails, you can view it in a single consolidated dashboard. As we all know, information is power, and Xpedeon's new progress reporting hopes to empower you to manage your projects in a more efficient manner. I would like to thank you all for your time, and please do reach out if you have any further questions. Thank you. Over to you, Bill.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. That was great.
Bill.
Thank you so much for updating us about the new features, new exciting features. So next one is the last speaker of this event is my colleague Ankit Dey, who is a senior consultant from UK and Ireland. He'll be talking about one of my favorite features which are yet to come. Finally, a CRM which speaks construction language. So I will hand it over to Ankit to tell us a bit more about the features coming in April. Over to you, Ankit.
Thank you, Bill. Hello, everyone. So along with the developments that I've already spoken about, another key feature that we have introduced in Xpedeon is the introduction of CRM, or the customer relationship management for contractors, which is in line with the existing offering in Xpedeon, that is CRM for house builders. For the past 2 years, we have been constantly collaborating with our clients to address the various issues faced in their businesses. In speaking with one of our clients, we focused on the bid management process, wherein the bidding team was mainly dependent on using the Microsoft Excel, a homegrown software, and a lot of paper-based documentation. The process also lacked visibility of the bids that are work in progress or won or lost, not just in terms of reporting, but also their respective details. The communication and the attachments were manually archived as well. Thus, we decided on to design a simple, easy to use, and a flexible system that can meet the requirements of bid management process and provide additional features to alleviate the process. CRM for contractors can help you manage construction projects from the bidding process to post-sale. Whilst the estimation process is still done externally, it can still be captured as a part of the process and be tracked. Further, Xpedeon's CRM for contractor process eliminates the use of any external database for clients and customers, as it can serve as a master for the same. Similarly, you can also attach the documents and the communication, therefore making the whole process centralized and allowing you to generate a single source of truth. For the team using this, it can provide wider transparency and visibility, thus ensuring better organization and collaboration. Just like the other documents in Xpedeon, this process is also supported by standard reports and customizable reports like dashboards. The standard reports can not only display the information from the standard fields, but also information from the custom fields. The dashboards, on the other hand, can be used to run analytics on the data entered and can be tailored as per your business needs. Certain key reports that can be used in the process include the percentage of win or loss bids and their values, status of the work in progress items based on their confidence level, that is the chances of winning the bid, and also possibly include the profitability reports to determine which customers make the biggest contribution to your revenue, sales cycle reports that can depict the average cycle duration, that is from lead capture to close, sales pipeline and forecast reports, and so on. So some of the key highlights of this new process in Xpedeon are a result of our efforts to address the core issues faced by our clients and pretty much every organization in general. The CRM for contractors in Xpedeon allows you to add custom fields as per your business requirements, which makes it user-friendly. You can set these fields of specific nature like free text, numeric, and even define preset values for drop-down options. You can record inbound and outbound emails corresponding to the bids, thereby making it a repository for the communication along with the attachments. You can capture the sales journey of every bid, that is, bid at different stages and their corresponding details. The workload distribution within the team can also be monitored from within the system. And finally, you can align your diaries with Xpedeon and even outside by invoking bid-specific workflows. Along with these, the differentiating advantage of using the CRM for contractors in Xpedeon is that bids are created for proposals. This predominantly means that the cost spent on the bid can be calculated. For example, timesheet entry can be entered and the time cost can be calculated with the help of higher charge functionality to calculate the employee cost on the bids. And even any additional cost on the bid can be captured by regular usage of Xpedeon. Thus, to summarize, we are certain that Xpedeon will not only contribute to digital transformation of your business, but also contribute to efficient management of the tender and bid management process on the whole. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Over to you, Bill.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ankit. That was great. It's great to know about the CRM who is actually purpose-built for the construction industry. So all ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. What I would like to do now, this was the last event of this series. What I would like to do now is to basically vote thanks to all of you. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. First and foremost, I thank our guest speakers who, despite their busy schedules, have found time to talk today, and all the attendees who have been with us throughout this journey of this event. I also express heartfelt thanks to the Xpedeon team for their valuable contribution in presenting some of the new capabilities. Special gratitude goes out to the Xpedeon team who worked hard behind the scene to make this event successful, including Shri, Seema, just to name a few. And I thank all the invitees, please, to come here and accepting our invitation. And thank you so much. Wherever you are, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.